Welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at Age of Rome. This is a 1 to 4 player economic city building game where you will be building structures, placing workers or followers, and trying to defeat your rivals to become the next emperor. Now let's take a look at the components. You have the main game board. On the right side of the main game board you have the round track, which also has the money gained when you choose the farming action. At the top you have spaces for the event cards, arrows for how the province board will turn. In the center you have a spot for your axle. On the top left, you have the glory track. There are yellow spaces on this track where you will gain a follower. The top 3 spaces will move down every time someone gains that follower. The space for the Colosseum action, these will immediately gain you 1 glory point. Space for the quest cards, and across the bottom, you have your battle regions. Inside the battle regions, the number of legions required to be defeated or conquered. This is the red shield. Then the number of glory points earned if you are first, second, or third, which are the gold, silver, and bronze banners. And the asterisks indicate that that banner will not score in a 2-player game. Round marker, first player marker, milestone markers, an axle. This will go in the center of the main board and will be used to place votes for the Senate column. Provinces board. There are 4 sections to the provinces board. In each section, you have spaces for buildings. On the left side of that space, you would have the type. And on the right side of that space, you have the cost and glory earned. You have spaces for schemes. And in each province, you have a population disc. Event cards. On the front of the event card, you have the number of times the province board will rotate and the event to carry out. Quest cards. These have the name, corresponding quest, the number of glory points earned at the end of the game, and if it has an asterisk, it is removed in the 2-player game. Trade cards. At the top of the trade card, you have the in-game glory points if you have a set of this type. Below that, you have the card type, name, effect condition, the effect, and if it has an asterisk, it is removed during a 2-player game. Building tiles. There are 5 types of building tiles. They have levels 1, 2, and 3. In the bottom left corner, you have the type and level. In the bottom right corner, you have the cost and glory points earned. These are the points and cost for building the next level. Medals. Player boards. On the left side of your player board, you have the possible scheme actions. Then you have a depiction and a name. In the middle of your player board, you have places for your schemes, your starting resources, and at the bottom, you have your feud track. On the right side of your player board, you have spaces for legions, votes, and followers. At the bottom of your player board, you have spots for your sets. Pantheon boards, Pantheon pieces, you have your player colors, and then you have gold, silver, and bronze. Votes, follower figures, legion figures, scheme markers, glory markers, bonus markers, feud markers, diplomacy tokens, player markers, anchor cards. These are to take up space in your hand. Battle cards, Cassius cards, reference sheet, money in 1, 5, and 10, scoring pad, achievement tokens, Cassius rules, and finally your rulebook. Now let's take a look at the setup. We're going to be setting this up for a 3-player game which takes 18 steps. Step 1, place the main board in the center of the play area. Step 2, place the axle in the center of the main game board. Step 3, place the provinces board over the axle, arranging the provinces in front of the players, or using the player markers to mark their side. Step 4, place the round marker on 1. Step 5, set each population disc on the province board to 1. Step 6, sort and place building tiles by type and level beside the main board. Then place the corresponding medal on top of each level 3. Step 7, place the Pantheon pieces in 2 piles next to the board. In a 3-player game, you will remove 1 silver base and 1 bronze top. In a 2-player game, you will remove 1 silver and 1 bronze base and 2 bronze tops. Step 8, place money next to the main board. Step 9, get player components. Get a reference sheet, player board, Pantheon board, 3 bonus markers, 1 of each type, and all components of the player's color. Then place the player board in the center of the player area with the Pantheon board next to it. Place 1 follower on your player board, 3 scheme markers face down, a number of legions and votes based on the character on their supply spaces, placing bonus markers on the player board on their indicated spaces, and placing a number of feud markers going from right to left based on the character. Step 10, get an anchor card if depicted on your player board. Step 11, get money based on your character. Step 12, place your glory marker on the number indicated on your player board. Step 13, place remaining feud markers next to the board. Step 14, place the 3 milestone markers on 12, 21, and 30 on the glory track. Step 15, shuffle and place event cards. Step 16, shuffle and place trade cards. Keep in mind to remove the asterisk in a 2-player game. Step 17, choose a first player. Place the first player marker on the province in front of that player. And step 18, shuffle, deal, and place quest cards. Shuffle and deal 3 quest cards to each player and place the rest on the main board. Players are to keep 2 and discard 1 face down to the bottom of the stack. For a 2-player game, you will not use the cards that have the asterisk. Now let's take a look at the gameplay. A game consists of 9 rounds. Each round consists of 4 phases. The scheme phase, where event cards are resolved, turn order is adjusted, and activating of schemes. The building phase, in turn order, you will take building actions. The action phase, where you'll place followers in order and take their actions. And the income phase, where you will receive income and rotate the board. Now let's look at a round in detail, starting with phase 1, the scheme phase. This is carried out in 2 steps. Step 1, reveal an event card and resolve its effects. Then orient the first player marker by the arrows depicted. This indicates the turn order going clockwise or counterclockwise. Keep in mind that the board will not move until the income phase at the end of the round. And step 2, the scheme activation. In turn order, activate any number of schemes. You can activate any of your placed schemes against the player that is in that province. So you can't activate any that are in front of you. You would place a feud marker from your leftmost space to their rightmost space. If you don't have a feud marker or they don't have an open space, you cannot activate that scheme. Bonuses can become active or inactive with these markers moving. When you activate, you would perform one of 3 actions listed on your player board. You would flip your scheme marker and it would come back to you at the end of the action phase. Once all the players have chosen to activate or not activate their schemes, we move to phase 2, the building phase. In turn order, players take turns paying and placing building tiles. You can take as many as you can pay for and can place. Level 1s have to go first, and then 2, and then 3 on top. For each tile that you place, you would add glory points and rotate the population disc 1. There are 5 types of building tiles, and you must match the space or tiles already placed. Level 3 buildings, placed, gains that player a medal for the first of each type, which will then gain you an ability. For military, you would win ties in battle. For politics, you get 3 glory for a majority. For trade, you use jewels as wilds for sets. For religion, you pay 3 for 1 glory anytime. And for farming, when you place a follower on a farm, you will get a 2 money bonus. Once all the players have chosen and placed their buildings, we move to phase 3, action. In turn order, players will place a follower to take an action. You can place them on building tiles, schemes, or on the Colosseum. The max number of followers that can be placed on a building is equal to the level of the building. The actions that you can take by placing followers. If you place it on a military building or the shield, you can move or place a legion to a battle region. If you place your bonus marker with that follower, you would get +1. This means that that bonus marker must be uncovered for you to be able to use it during this round. The benefits of taking this action is that the battle regions give game end victory points for majority, and second, if it is defeated. The politics action, or the axle, you would place 1 vote on the Senate column. If you place the politics bonus marker under your follower, you could take +1 and place 2 votes. The Senate column has a max height of 5, and any more you would remove the bottom vote. If you get 3 consecutive during an action, or scheme by placing only and not removing, you would get 2 glory. If you have the politics medal, you would get 3 glory. And if you place 4 in a row, you would get 2 more. The trade action, or ship, you would draw a trade card. If you use the trade bonus, you would draw 2 trade cards. These cards can be used as sets for in-game scoring, activated for the effect on the card, or 1 in money. The hand limit of each player is 5. You can play, sell, or discard to keep your hand size. The anchor card cannot be sold. You must play the card before you resolve the trade action. When you get a set of 3 of the same, you can place them face down in front of your player board. These are used for in-game scoring, and they can't be played or sold, and you can have a max of 3 sets. The religion action, or pantheon, you would place a pantheon piece on your pantheon board. To complete your pantheon, you need 3 bases and 4 top pieces. You will have to take a common piece to complete each level. The first player would get the gold, and then silver, and then bronze. These will give you more money based on the color at the end of the game. The farming action, or wheat, you would get money based on the round. In the first or second round, you would get 1. Third or fourth, you would get 2. 5th or 6th round, you would get 3. 7th or 8th, you would get 4. And if it's the 9th round, you would get 5 money. The Colosseum action, you would get a glory point. Any number of followers can go on the Colosseum action. The scheme action, you can place a scheme marker from your player board on an empty scheme space for the province in front of you, and then place a follower on top. After all followers are placed, you would take all the followers, bonus markers, activated schemes, and return them to the player board. And then we move to phase 4, the income phase. This is carried out in 2 steps. Step 1, collect income. In turn order, choose how much income to collect from the province. You'll get 1 per population, and if you want to get 2 per the population, you would lose the red glory points next to that population number. And if you can't lose the glory points, you cannot take 2 times the population. And step 2, you would rotate the board based on the event card arrows and number of arrows. And then we would advance the round marker and go to the next round. And then rounds would continue until the end of the 9th round. At the end of the 9th round, you would add up your final glory. This is carried out in 7 steps using the score pad. Step 1, you would indicate your place on the glory track. Step 2, military. You would gain glory for 1st, 2nd, or 3rd in defeated battle regions. You must meet the minimum legion requirement for the region to be defeated. Step 3, politics. Gain glory based on the location. For the top space or the first space, you would gain 1 glory. 2nd would give you 2. 3rd would give you 5. 4th would give you 3. And the 5th or bottom space would give you 6. Step 4, trade. Based on the type of set, you will gain a number of glory points. For tools or blue, you would get 3. For weapons or red, you would get 4. For clothes or yellow, you would get 5. And for jewels or green, you would get 6. Step 5, religion. Gain points for each pantheon piece placed based on the color. For gold, you would get 4. Silver, you would get 3. Bronze, you would get 2. And the player's color, you would get 1. Step 6, quests. You would score your quest cards. Step 7, money. You will gain 1 glory for every 4 money, or 3 if you own the religion medal. Then you would calculate your final score, and the player with the most glory is the new emperor or empress and wins Age of Rome.